So today we are going to start with a new chapter of probability, and I will try to finish this up today only because it's a very short one. Okay, we just need to know some basic terms, and we need to know how to apply it in the questions. Okay, very easy questions are going to come from here. Okay, and you will have a little expanded form in your class 10th, and then very much expand form in your class 11th and 12th. Okay, in 11th and 12th probability questions become a little tricky, but right now it's very easy one. Okay, so let's see. So what is probability? Okay, what is probability? So probability is a study of chance of events happening. Okay, like for example, probability, like we feel if you're going outside and you saw that in the morning, okay, that the weather was it was cloudy, so there is a probability that it will rain or it may not. Okay, there's may rain or not rain. Okay, or like when you're playing games, if you're going, or just simply coin example you say. Okay, so in coin you have head and you have tail. Okay, and if you're tossing a coin, there's a probability of getting a head also, and you can get a tail also, any one of that you can get. Okay, so like you're playing dice, in dice also when you're throwing a dice, then you can get a one because there are six numbers on a dice. Okay, so any six of the number you can get. Okay, there's an equal probability of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, any of the number you can. Okay, so probability means in Hindi if you say the chance of, means chance of an event happening. Okay, एक event के happen, एक event के होने का क्या chance है. Okay, that is your probability. Okay, now what are the basic terms that are related to probability? So the basic terms related to probability are experiment or trial. So first term that we see, experiment, because every time you see the trial of an outcome, the outcome of an experiment. So what is this experiment? What you are performing now, the operation that you are performing is an experiment. For example, you're throwing or you're tossing a coin, so that is an experiment. Okay, an operation which can produce some well-defined outcome, okay, is called an experiment or trial. So when you are tossing a coin, so that tossing of coin is an experiment. Okay, if you are tossing a coin 100 times, okay, so that single tossing of coin is an experiment or trial. Okay, and when you're tossing it 100 times, you'll get 100 times not the same result. You can get a tail or you can get a head. Sometimes you can get tail, sometimes you can get head. Okay, so every time you are going to get a different one. Not every time you'll get a head or a tail. Okay, any one of them you can get. Okay, and this head and tail is the outcome. When you are doing an experiment, the outcome that you are getting, means the output that you're getting, a head or a tail, this individually it is called an outcome of the experiment. Okay, so when we are throwing a dice, then there are six outcome of that experiment. Okay, throwing a dice is an experiment. Okay, and what you will get after throwing the dice, you can get one, you can 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are the outcomes of this experiment of throwing the dice. Okay, understood, Ara? Okay, now experiment can be we were talking about experiment and trials. Now this experiment or trial can be of two types. Okay, a random experiment and deterministic experiment. So determine means you already know it. Okay, what are the outcomes here? Okay, an experiment when repeated under identical condition produce the same results or outcome is known as deterministic experiment. Okay, for example, if you are tossing an unfair coin, what do you mean by unfair coin? Unfair coin, from the word itself, that it is not having a fair thing. Okay, so just a minute, what I was telling you. Yeah, deterministic as experiment. Okay, for unfair coin. So what are unfair coin? The coin will have only head or only tail. Okay, so when you are going to toss that type of a coin, you are going to get, if you are having an unfair coin which has head only, so every time you toss, either you toss it 20 times or 100 times or 10,000 times, it will always give you the same outcome, that is the head. Okay, so that type of an experiment is called an deterministic experiment. Okay, and you will see random experiment. When you do a probability, you'll generally see random experiment only. In random experiment, when an experiment repeated under identical condition, or they produce different results. Okay, several results are there. Okay, do not produce the same outcome every time, but the outcome produced is one or the several other outcomes possible. Okay, for example, when you are tossing a coin, what are the several outcomes that are possible? Head or a tail. So when you are throwing a dice, tossing a coin, so you'll get an head or a tail. So this is a random experiment. You are doing randomly, you'll get an output. Okay, random experiment. Okay, for example, similarly, when you are throwing a dice, then also randomly you will get any of the six numbers. Okay, when you are playing cards and you are picking any card from a pack of 52 cards, deck of cards. Okay, so it is favorable outcome, it is a random experiment and you can get any of the cards. Okay, either a spade or a spade, diamond. There are four types of situation. Okay, so any of that you can get. Okay, so understood about this. Now, event. Till now I'm talking about event. So what is an event? The possible outcome or combination of outcome is called an event. Okay, means getting ahead when you're tossing a coin. So getting ahead in the toss of a coin is an event. That is your event. Okay, so now occurrence of an event. So what do we mean by occurrence of an event? An event E associated to the random experiment is said to occur in a trial if it outcomes of trial means, if for example, I'll explain you this with example. Like you have thrown a dice. Okay, so any of the numbers you can get, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, so to 6. Okay, so if you are getting 4, so what are the favorable outcomes of an event is here? Not favorable outcome. Like if we are associating with 4, so what are 4? 4 is an even number. So if you are finding out the outcomes of getting an even number, then 4 is related to that. Getting a number greater than 2, it is related to that. Getting a number greater than 1. Okay, greater number, getting a number less than 5. Okay, so this is the occurrence of an event. Okay, if we have occurred 4, so this is the occurrence of an event. These are the things. Okay, elementary event. Elementary means 1. Okay, so the event having only one outcome, वो event जिसके सिर्फ only one outcome होगा, that is called a random experiment. Okay, or an elementary an event जिसका एक ही occurrence होगा उस random experiment का, that random experiment is called an elementary event. Okay, for example, if you are tossing a coin, so the possible outcomes are head and tail. Okay, if you are finding out getting a head only head, so it is an elementary event. Okay, getting a tail only.
Ma'am, you could also get, if you're flipping a coin, you could also get it on its side.
What? Arha? I didn't get
Like
it.
if you flip a coin, you could, because it also has some thickness, it could also land like that.
Yeah, but that is in fact a very less if you can find it. Okay, and generally if that happens, we have to toss the coin again. Yes. Okay. So here, even and into individually is an elementary event. Okay, associated with a random experiment of a tossing of the coin. Okay. Now, compound event. Compound event is a collection of many elementary events. Okay, collection of two or more elementary elements suited with the random experiment. Now here you'll see that again the example, like you have tossed two coins. Okay, so what are the you can say when you're tossing two coins, so you get four options here. When you're tossing two coins, so either you can get head, either you can get
You get head tail, and tail head.
yes, head tail or tail head. Okay, but if I am talking about the outcomes of the probability of getting only one head. Okay, probability of getting only one head. So how many outcomes you are having? HT and TH. Okay, so this HT and this TH is what is the elementary event. Okay, and this whole is a collection of, this is elementary event and this is a collection of elementary event. Okay, similarly if you are throwing a dice and if I'm telling you that numbers that are even numbers. Okay, so in even numbers that you'll get 2 4 6. Okay, and this 2 4 6 are individually or what are elementary event, and they combinedly in this form are called the compound event. Okay. Now, some note point, that is what is random toss. Random toss is a phrase which means that the coin is allowed to fall freely. Okay. मतलब आपने टॉस किया तो बीच में कोई हर्डल उसको स्टॉप नहीं कर रहा है. It is properly it is toss. Okay. Coin, you everybody knows that what is coin. A coin has a head and a tail. Okay. And this is called the fair coin. An unfair coin or an unbiased coin is that is not having your tooth. Okay. Die. What is dice? We have already played so many times. Okay. Dice you have seen. It has six faces, and on all the six faces, one number is written from 1 to 6. Okay. And we usually use this cube to, it is in cube form. Okay. To play in a game. Okay. For our chances. Now, probability of an experiment approach. What is probability of an experiment? So, we always represent probability by E. Probability जो है हम ऐसे PE लिखते हैं, ठीक है, PE के फॉर्म में लिखते हैं. एंड probability होता क्या है? Probability है total number of outcomes, and above will be favorable outcomes. ठीक है.
Ma'am, can I quickly go to the washroom?
Okay, go and come. So, what is probability? See, E. If E is an event that happens when an experiment is performed, okay, we represent it with E. Okay, event is represented by E. So, how we can write probability of this event E? The probability of an event E is written as PE is equal to number of trials in which the event E has come. Okay, number of trial in which E has come upon total number of trial. For example, if you're throwing a coin, okay, so if you're throwing a coin, so you'll get head or tail. Okay, so what are the total number of trials? Sorry, total number if you're throwing a coin 5 times. Okay, if you're throwing a coin 5 times, so what is the total number of trials? Okay, so that will be 5, and in what number of trials in which E has occurred. If I'm asking about the event of getting a head, so how many times in this 5 trial E has occurred? If I'm telling you in the second and fourth trial E has come, head has come, so the 2 times the head has occurred. Okay, so 2 upon 5. Okay, have you understood what is probability and how we are going to find out? This is the main formula of probability. Okay, let's mark it. Okay, or you can say total number of times the event E has occurred. Okay, and the total number of experiment performance. Okay, for example, here if a coin is tossed 1,000 times and event E is equal to head occurs 455 times and E2 tail occurs 554 times. So what will be the probability of getting an head? If we're talking about the probability of getting an head, so it will be how many times we have got head? 450 times. 455 times. Okay, and how many times we have tossed the coin? 1,000 times. So 455 upon 1,000. Okay, similarly, what is the probability of getting a tail? How many times we have got the tail? 545 times. And what is the total number of times we have tossed the coin? That is 1,000. Okay?
1,000.
Yes. Now, some important points that we should remember about probability is that the probability ranges from 0 to 1. Whenever you are finding out probability of any event, it will be between 0 to 1. It can be 0, it can be 1, okay, or it can be 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.6 to 0.9, okay, but it will not exceed 1 and it will not be below 0. If you are getting the answer, that's wrong. Probability is always from 0% to 100%. Okay, किसी भी चीज को अगर आप करोगे तो उसकी प्रोबेबिलिटी क्या होगी? या तो वो नहीं होगी, या तो वो हो जाएगी, या समवेयर लाइकली 0 to 100% के बीच में. You don't get above 100%. Okay, so probability of an event, say A is 1. अगर किसी event की probability आपकी 1 है, that means it event is going to occur for sure. Okay, that event is going to occur for sure. Okay, for example, if I'm asking you that on Sundays what is the probability of going to school, it will be
0.
yes, because Sundays schools are always closed. Okay, and if I'm asking you what is the probability of you going to school on Monday, so it will be always
100. It will be a little bit less because sometimes
yeah,
some apps
because
appears.
sometimes you can have holidays also. Okay, so Similarly, like this. And what is the probability of having 30 on in February month?
0.
So, zero means that event is impossible. That cannot happen. Okay. Impossible means that event is never going to happen. It is impossible event. And one means that is a sure event. Okay. That has to happen. Okay. Now, this you have understood. Now, the fourth, fifth, sixth point, the sum of all the probability of the possible outcome of an experiment is 1. Okay, for example, if I'm finding out the probability of getting a head when we are tossing a coin, okay, what is the probability of getting a head? So it will be half. And what is the probability of getting a tail? It will again be half. Okay, so when you're tossing a coin, there are only two outcomes, either head or tail. So if you're going to add up the probability of getting head and tail, so it will always be equal to 1. ओके एक एक्सपेरिमेंट के जितने भी पॉसिबल आपके आउटकम्स हो रहे हैं उन सब की प्रोबेबिलिटी को जब आप ऐड करोगे तो यू विल ऑलवेज गेट 1. ओके एंड PE means probability of an event plus probability of not probability of not happening an okay, means probability of getting an head and probability of not getting an head will equal to 1. ठीक है, उस इवेंट के होने का और उस इवेंट के नहीं होने का सम जो है वो ऑलवेज इक्वल टू 1 होगा. इन विद दिस फॉर्मूला, remember this formula, it's important. With this formula you can find out sometimes that if PE is given, so PE not can be find out how. PE, probability of an event, can be written as 1 minus P naught E, or if P naught E is given, so we can find out P naught E is equal to 1 minus P. Okay, an experimental probability of an event can never be negative. Okay, probability kabhi bhi negative nahi hogi. Okay, probability is never negative. Either it will be 0 or somewhere between 0 to 1. Okay, but it will never be negative. Understood till here? Any doubt in any of the concepts around? No? So let's start with a question. We are having some questions, 8 questions total. Some of the questions you'll do and then chapter is complete. Okay. So example 1, two coins are tossed simultaneously. Okay, so we are tossing two coins simultaneously. एक साथ हम दो coin को toss कर रहे हैं. Okay, simultaneous 300 times. So we are tossing the coin 300 times, and it is found that two heads appeared 135 times. मतलब both the time means on both the coin head is there at 135 times. Okay, and one head appeared 101 times. One head has appeared 101 times and no head appeared 54 times. Okay, so if two coins are tossed at random, what is the probability of getting two heads? So two heads, what is the probability of getting a two head around? What is how many times we have tossed the coin? We have tossed the coin. Yes, we have tossed the coin 200 times. And if you see the question, if you read the question of what is the probability of getting, see, we have got the heads 2 times 135 times. 135 times ऐसी situation हुई है जहाँ पे आपको both coin पे head मिला है. So what is the probability of getting heads? PE, probability of getting two heads.
Number 4.
Of getting two heads. It will be equal to 300. 135 135 upon 3, 135 times we are getting the two heads. Okay, and 300 times we have done the experiment. 300 or 200? 300 times. Okay, it will be 3. Okay, now similarly we'll see here one head. One head how many times? If you go for one head appeared 101 times. Okay, so one head का क्या हो जाएगा? 101 upon 300. Okay, similarly zero head क्या होगा? Zero head की probability क्या होगी? Zero head means head has not come. So see here, 300 times we have tossed the coin. Two heads we got 135 times. One head we have got 100 times, and no head appeared 54 times. So no head appears 54 times. So 54 upon 300. That is the probability of getting no head. Okay. Hello Shazan, you are half an hour late. See, he has gone also. Yes, Shazan, what happened? Shazan, I am audible. Shazan, are you there? Reconnect. Arham, I am audible now. Reconnect.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Let him join. Okay. Then, so now, if you are going to add up all the three probabilities, then you will get 1. Okay. Now, what happened? Where he went? Okay. Arham, now try to do this question. What do you think? The percentage of marks obtained by a student in the monthly unit test are given. Okay, so how much marks they have obtained in monthly unit test. So there are 5 tests that has occurred. Okay, 5 unit tests were there. You can expect English, Hindi, math, science, social studies. Okay, so 5 unit test he has given, and in all the my voice. Am I audible now, Arham?
No, my voice is breaking.
अभी मेरी voice ठीक है? My voice is breaking still. Maybe my net is little slow. Just let me try this. Hello, is it okay now? Hello, Arham, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am, now it's okay.
You're audible, ma'am.
Okay, okay, ma'am. So the percentage of marks obtained by a student in the monthly. So you have the student has given 5 unit tests and monthly marks means marks of all the 5 tests are given. Okay, in percentage. Okay, 50 in the first unit test, 58%. In second, 74. Third, 76. Fourth, 62, and fifth, 85. Okay. Now, what probability we have to find out? First class, that is at least 60%. Okay, student has scored first class mark, that is at least 60%, means minimum of 60% marks. So in how many cases minimum of 60% marks has been obtained? नहीं, at least na, at least means kam se kam. Okay, so at least 60% marks is obtained. That means you can go above also. Okay, that means 60 or more than 60. So in how many cases we have scored 60 or above 60 marks? See, yeah, 74, 76, 62, 85. These are all above 60%. So there are 4 cases where 60, at least 60% marks is obtained. Okay, come se come 60% marks obtained where, so 4 upon and 5 tests were there, so 4 upon 5, that is a probability. Okay, now if you go for the second one, मार्क्स बिटवीन 70 एंड 80%. 70 एंड 80% के बीच में आपका 74 है एंड 76 है, सो दैट मीन्स 2/5. ओके, एंड distinction, that is 75% or above. So 75% and above, how many times 75% and above marks has been scored? 76 and 85. That is again 2/5. Less than 65% marks, so it is 2 times 2/5. Understood? Now you try on this question. Aram. A die is thrown 250 times and the outcomes are noted as given below. Okay, if you have thrown a dice 200 times, the 1 appeared on your dice 65 times, 2 appeared 40 times, 3 appeared 42 times, 4 appeared 25 times, 5 appeared 33 times, and 6 appeared 45 times. If a die is thrown at random, then find the probability of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what is the probability of getting 1?
Ma'am, it should be 65.
What is the
Ma'am, it should be 65 by 250.
Yes, because 250 is the total number of outcome and getting an 1 is 65 times we got 1. So for 1 it is, for 1 PE1 is equal to 65 upon 200. Okay, sorry, 250 it is there, no? Okay, I'll just copy this. Okay, so PE1 will be 65 upon 250. Similarly, PE2 getting 2 will be 40 upon 255 times. Okay, and PE3 will be what? 42 upon 250 times. Similarly, PE4, how many times we got 4? 25 times upon 250, 1 upon 10. PE5 getting 5, 33 upon 250. And getting PE6, it is 45 upon 250. Okay, now see, of all the outcomes we have taken out. Okay, so there are 6 outcomes of this experiment of throwing a dice. So if you are going to add all the 6, you will get a 1. Okay, if you're going to add all the 6, you are going to get 1. The total probability of all the outcomes, possible outcomes, is 1. Now, on one page of a telephone directory, next question is, on one page of a telephone directory, there were 200 telephone numbers. Okay, on a single page, there are 200 telephone numbers of a directory. Okay, the frequency distribution of the unit place digit, मतलब all the 200 telephones में से हर टेलीफोन नंबर पे यूनिट प्लेस पे क्या डिजिट होगा. Okay, that is written. Without looking at the page, the pencil is placed on one of these numbers. That is the number to be chosen at random. What is the probability that the digit in its unit place is 6? See, probability of getting 0 at the unit place is 22. Probability of getting 1 at unit place is 26. Probability of getting 2 at unit place 22. 3 at unit place 22. 4 at unit place 20. 5 at unit place 10. 6 14. 7 28. 8 16. 9 20. Okay. So what is the probability of getting 6 at the unit place? How many times we have got 6? From the chart you see the frequency of getting 6 at the unit place is 14. Okay. And how many telephone numbers are there? There are 200 telephone numbers on a page. And among that 200 numbers, only 40 numbers are their unit place. So the probability of getting 6 at the unit place is 14 upon 200. Okay. Any doubts? Okay, understood, Arha? Do you want to try a question?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Well, you can try on this. The record of a weather station shows that out of the past 250 consecutive days, its weather forecast were correct 175 times. Okay, so 250 times the weather forecasting has been done, and from those 250 times, only 175 times the weather forecast were correct. Okay, so what is the probability that on a given day it was correct, and what is the probability that it was not correct on a given? So what will forecast is correct on a given day? Arham? What is the total outcome here? Total outcome is equal to 250. Favorable outcome. Correct weather forecast. Weather is equal to 175 times. Okay. Now probability of event getting the correct weather forecast is 175 upon 250. Okay. Now, what is the probability that it was not correct on a given day? So, we have already studied PE plus PE naught is equal to 1. Okay. So, we already have PE. So, we can find PE naught is equal to 1 minus PE. Okay. In this formula. So, you can write 1 minus 175 upon 250. That is equal to 250 minus 5 upon 50, which is equal to, sorry. Okay. Okay, Aram, try on the next question. You try on this question. Aram. So how we are going to do? See, for the first one. Yes.
Ma'am, for the first one, we can just divide 2 by 1000, which will be 0.002. And
2 by 1000.
For the second one,
20.
2 by 1000.
Yes, for second.
It will be 0.002.
2 or 20.
And for the second one,
20.
What was?
Yes, for the second one.
Oh, 20. Okay, 20. Okay, 20 divided by 1000.
Yeah.
So it will be 0.02. And for the second one, where it lasts more than 9,000 kilometers. So we can take, it says that 9,000 to 9,000 to 14,000 is 325, and more than 14,000 is 445. So we can add those together, which would be 770, and that divided by
Yes, for more than 9,000, it will be 325. Yes, correct.
It will be 770 plus, and then if you divide that by 1,000, it will be 4.7.
Yeah,
and will it need to be?
Yes.
And also, it says, will it need to be replaced after it has covered somewhere between 4,000 kilometers and 1,400? So we can take 20, we have to add it to 120, and then we have to add that to 325. And that will give 555, and that divided by 1,000 is 0.555.
Yes. So now you can start with your assignment, okay, Aram, and very nice. Okay. So I think you have understood about the probability. Aram, any doubt in the probability today? Aram, do you have any doubt in probability chapter anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Very good. So now I am stop sharing my screen.